Welcome. What I want to do is talk to you a little bit about how to grade in mathematics. And one thing when I started to be a math teacher, we looked at grading the way that I've been graded for my whole life, and also that most teachers have been graded for a while. And that's really subtracting one, subtracting two, taking a look. Oh, they have to get to this point, and then they get so many points for that, or they make this mistake, it's so many points for that. And a lot of the discussion was, about how much to grade each question. Some questions are worth 1 point, some questions are worth 8 points. They get so many points for doing this and for doing that. And one thing that was brought to the attention of me, and I apologize, I don't have the article offhand, but it was part of a grading system, kind of like a 4-point grading system with the EMRF. And what our Algebra 1 team did was actually modify that to include a 4-point grading scale, which we actually called math. And you might want to say, yeah, sorry, we're a little bit of a math teacher nerds here, but it really made sense to take a look at grading math problems in this sense. And we wanted to use the math because, I don't know, we actually just kind of thought about it that way, and it made sense. And obviously we're math teachers, so it was fun to do. But I want to go through the way that we grade, and then I want to open this up for kind of more discussion, and then it's also my purpose to bring in examples so you can see how this really differs, and then also as a learner, how that really affects you, and even as a teacher, how you're able to grade differently, and I believe more effectively. So what M really stands for is that you've mastered the standard, right? We've had our Common Core standards that we're working with. We're also working with, a lot of different other standards that we've previously worked with as far as either NCTM or your own state standards. So when you look at your standard, M is going to say that you've mastered the standard. And what we really like to more say is for an M, it would be did all the work correct and really did not make any mistakes. And if you're going to grade this on a kind of a scale, what we actually do is out of 5 points. So a M would be a 5 out of 5. And we modified this. It was a 4-point scale, but we moved it over to a 5-point scale just to kind of leave it a little bit more room. So an M would be pretty much they got the whole problem right. And really what that means is they understand the problem, they showed all the work, they can communicate to you that they have a full understanding, that they've done everything exactly correct. The next one is A, which means they almost mastered the standard. They've shown that they understand what's going on, but they made 1, 2, 3, or multiple mistakes. And I think this is the one that there's a lot of discrepancy about, because you want to say, sometimes the students make a little mistake, we're going to give them an A, we're not going to give them an M. And, there's kind of that gray zone that you want to kind of make a choice about. And we like to grade with the A when looking at it, because it doesn't matter if they made 1 mistake or if they made multiple mistakes. They shouldn't be downgraded. A lot of times in math, would say -1, -1, -1, -1. However, if they're still understanding, you can see that conceptually they have an idea of what they're doing. They shouldn't be kept on getting further marked down for the understanding. It's really do they understand the work? Yeah, they do. All right, they made 1 or 2 or 3 mistakes, but they're, maybe some number sense mistakes or something that was very impromptu, maybe, kind of forced mistake. It's going to be a 4 out of 5. Now the next one is, we just kind of wrote as like they tried to understand the standard, or they're trying to get there, but they made a logical error. You can see that they don't fully understand exactly what they need to for the standard. They made a large mistake, one that definitely needs to be addressed. And A usually means they understand it, but just one little correction and you can get them on the right path. T really means you kind of need to sit down with them and address their mistakes so they really understand it, because the way that they approach the problem might have been the correct approach, but then they messed up in their delivery, and they maybe went a different route that was not correct. So they're on the right path, but they made a large mistake. They have a reasoning misunderstanding. Then the next one was an H, and the H we represented was a 2 of 5, and an H is going to be a very large mistake, something that's was really preventing the students from understanding what they need to know for the standard. So we like to call it the help, right? They're like, ooh, help, 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 I'm not understanding what I need to do. However, they do show some sort of understanding of what's going on in class, like they're kind of present, we sometimes like to say. So they are showing something, they are putting some work on the paper and they're working towards it, but they have a big misconception or misunderstanding that really needs to be addressed. So that's the way we like to do our 2 out of 5. And then also, the last one is, you know, if they're putting something down on the paper that's not making any sense, it's not going to anything, a lot of times it's really just numbers or something on the sheet of paper, then that's going to be a 0 out of 5. Now, I understand the score. If you're kind of to double these and take these out of 10, you could see that would be 100%, 80%, 60%, 40%. You could say, well, there's no real C in the value. And I don't think with any grading scale it's exactly going to be perfect. Something that we've always looked into is doing like an A plus 1 or a T plus 1 or an H plus 1. And those you could kind of be like a 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. And that worked. I think you got a better spectrum of the grades. However, a lot of times, sometimes it gets difficult, and I think with your PLCs or, you know, with your teachers, you can kind of discuss that as far as, you know, what's the best way to grade where it's kind of in between. And I think the discussion is the most important part about this grading scale. You have discussion amongst your teachers about what's an M, what's an A, what's a T, what's an H. Should this problem be graded in between, or what if this mistake, should that be kind of an in-between grade? Should it be a 2.5? Should it be a 4.5? And the next thing that I love about the most is also the students. You know, you grade through these and you look through the problem and you analyze each problem by an understanding and a holistic grade. And the best thing I love about this is I'm not just marking down kids, oh, you got this wrong because you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. I'll give these kids a T or an H, and I mean, I'll still mark down where they went right or when they went wrong. But a lot of times, you know, it brings conversation to them. They say, why did I get a T? Or what did I need to bring in? Or I don't believe I got a T. I should have gotten an A because I understand this and this point in this. Or I should get a T. I should get an H because I understand this. Or I showed you how to do this. And I like that dialogue because it brings students to actually, rather than just, you know, sitting back and, oh, I'm going to take my grade, they're getting interactive with their grade. They're understanding, oh, well, I understand this. I don't have a help. I understand this part. That's a big part of the problem. And I can see the students bringing forth, you know, putting in some effort into the grading and actually arguing with me, trying to, of course, always improve their grade. And I think that's something that's been really beneficial for me and the students to take a look at grading that way. So I wanted to open this up to you, see what you guys had any comments for that. So I really appreciate you watching. Please let me know, comment, ask questions, and I'll look forward to speaking with all of you. Thanks.